Hey everyone, it is Coach Linda, and you guessed it, it is 100 days of purpose. Hopefully, you're having a wonderfully blessed day and you are getting lots of things done on this beautiful May day. Um, we are going to talk about today disowning your fears because many of us have them, right? We tell ourselves that we can't do things and that we are sorry, I'm still at the hotel. We tell ourselves that we can't do things and that we can't be in a situation um, that's going to be successful. You know, we're uncertain about what's going to happen and we're uncertain about how that's going to look in our lives. And so we allow our fears to keep us from moving forward and keep us from doing the things that we need to do. And even if you go through the exercises that I've told you to go through, there is a certain level of fear that it's not going to work for you. Be like, oh, that sounds good. You know, in theory, it looks good, but I don't know if it's going to work for me. And so yesterday we talked about, and I said I was going to go look this word up and know how to say it for the right way. But it's Aikiko or something like that. I'm going to figure it out before the tomorrow. I'm going to figure out how to say this Japanese word. But it means the reason to live. In essence, that's what it means. And when you're going through that, remember the diaphragm I told you, it's what do you love? And then what does the world need? And specifically, what does the world need from you? And then what can you get paid for and what are you good at? Those are the four major areas. And then if you can figure out what you love and what the world needs specifically from you, then you find your mission, right? If you can figure out what the world needs specifically from you and you can get paid for it, that's your vocation. And then if you can find out what you're good at, what you're really good at, what you excel at, what you're superior in, and you can get paid for it, that's your profession. And then you go from what are you good at and what do you love, put it together and it's your passion, right? Now, for passion and mission, most times you can get paid for it, but most times it's just something you do because you love to do it and you will do it whether you get paid for it or not. Your profession and your vocation, you definitely want to get paid for it, right? And so I say things like passion brings forth profitability. And that's what I mean is that when you find out what the world needs from me and I can get paid for it, and what I can do really good and I can get paid for it. And if it just happens to be something that I love to do, that's even better, right? And so you gotta get that. But then you're brainstorming and you're going through the exercise and it starts to get a little overwhelming and your fears will kick in. And that's where we are today. You gotta tell yourself that you can do this in spite of what it looks like, in spite of the uncertainty, in spite of the mountains and the hills, and there's going to be some ups, some downs, some ins, some outs, some, you know, sometimes when you just want to throw in the towel, sometimes when you're just full of joy, sometimes when you are full of trepidation. There's going to be those things, and you just embrace it and you just understand. I love the book Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, because that's exactly what it is. It's you have to feel the fear and do it anyway. You got to be able to look fear in the face and say, you know what, you're false evidence appearing real, and you're a fake reality appearing real. And so I need to understand because, you know, people that are afraid to do public speaking or, you know, do something publicly or, you know, what they're in limelight, they always picture the worst case scenario, right? And how often does the worst case scenario actually happen? I've had times where I was singing and my wig fell off, my ponytail, I shook my head and My head went one way, hair went the other way. Okay, I've had times where I was preaching and my slip fell off, right? Those are pretty embarrassing. You're standing up in front of people, and I've even had where I was so nervous, telling off on myself. I was so nervous, I kind of TT'd on myself, right? That stuff happens. I'm reminded of a time when Christina Aguilera had, I guess she had went and had herself spray painted, suntanned or whatever, and she was up and she was singing and dancing, and she had this little mini skirt on, and the the suntan oil, powder, whatever it is. I don't get sprayed suntans. I don't know what it is. But it started to melt and it mixed in with her sweat and it dripped down her leg and it had a little rich color to it. So it looked like, right, she's up in front of hundreds, hundreds of thousands of people. And it looks like, girl, what's going on? You didn't know that today was the day? Okay. That's embarrassing. Those things happen. But Christina kept on singing. I kept on preaching. I kept on singing. They happen and you deal with them in the moment. Stepped out of the slip and kept it moving. I remember one time I was holding my stockings so they wouldn't fall off, but I was holding them while I was preaching. Okay. Fear, things happen. And when it happened, did I die? Did I fall dead? Did people laugh at me? Maybe. But that didn't stop me from doing what I needed to do, getting out the message, singing the song, preaching the sermons. It didn't stop. It didn't stop. Okay. So even if our fears do occur, it doesn't stop the show. Ain't no monkey gonna stop the show. So fear is the number one killer of confidence. That's all it does. It just destroys your confidence. And when you lack confidence, you lack the ability to get things done. When we fear the outcome or part of the process, we don't move forward. Taking action leads to increased confidence. Fear creates this vicious cycle that keeps us from realizing our goals and dreams, and in the process, robs us of our confidence, robs us of our destiny, robs us of what it is that we're supposed to give to the world. And not only does it rob us, but it robs those that we are assigned, those that we are supposed to be helping. How can you help someone when you can't help yourself? How can you help somebody see the way when you can't see the way? You got to start here, and you've got to understand and recognize that, things are going to happen. I started this video and someone knocked on the door right in because I'm at a hotel, right? And they saw me taking my stuff to the car. They thought I was gone. Stuff happens, but you keep going. Is it ideal? Absolutely not. But am I going to make it through? Okay. There's times when I've been out at do 100 days and people got in the frame, people walk by, stuff happens. Okay. So how do you overcome fear? How do you disown your fear? You start by making a list of your fears in relationship to what it is you're trying to do. Okay. So what is your fear in finding your purpose? What would keep you from moving forward and finding your purpose? What would keep you from moving forward in accomplishing a goal that you have set for yourself? What would keep you from finding love, from finding that perfect job, from finding a space where you can grow and blossom? What is fear? What uncertain terms? Okay, so make a list of the fears. Um, And what you're going to do is you're going to put yourself in a discovery process. Okay. So, what does that look like, Linda? Well, let me tell you. You're going to discover what is really frightening to you. You're going to do the worst case scenario. One of my coaches said, do it this way. 3 years from now, if you don't do anything different, right? If you don't follow your dreams, if you don't find your purpose, if you don't change anything, what will your life look like 3 years from now? Worst case scenario, what would your life look like? And then 3 years from now, if you followed your passion, if you followed your mission in life, if you know what your vocation is, you know what your profession is, you're doing what you love to do, you're being that solution and you're being a person of purpose, right? You're doing it. And even though there's ups and downs, ins and outs, you're doing the do. You're doing the do. What would your life look like? Best case scenario. So you have the worst case scenario if you do nothing. You have the best case scenario if you do everything, right? In between, there's a whole lot of stuff going on, right? And there's a whole lot of different paths that you can take. However, if you know what the worst case scenario is, that's what's keeping you, because that worst case scenario is what you're afraid of. So what's the worst case scenario? I mean, make it bad. I mean, take yourself all the way to homelessness if you have to, right? Make it. What is your greatest fear? Okay, that is the discovery of the process of finding out what's frightening you, and what are the unknowns that make you overwhelmed. What things don't you have the information for, and because you don't have the information for that, you feel like, because I don't know this, I don't know what'll happen if I do that, that's why I can't do that. Okay, that's the whole discovery process. So what are the fears? Worst case scenario, best case scenario. What's overwhelming you that you, because you don't know? Because most times we don't know what we don't know, right? So you want to look at it and say, I want to become a lawyer. Let's say you're destined to be the world's next, John Getty, John Paul Getty, right? But you don't know what that looks like. You don't know what avenues, you don't have the connections. There's a whole lot of uncertainty there. So what's overwhelming you? Then you want to think about how this contributes to your level of self-confidence. Okay. Next, identify the evidence that proves your fear is wrong. So fear is false evidence appearing real. So now you're going to become the sleuth, or the what is it, private investigator, right? You're going to become that one, that lawyer that defends the truth, because fear is going to present itself. But now you're going to find the truth of the matter, and you're going to present the truth of the matter that's going to disable that fear. You're going to figure out the lies that the fear is telling you. You're going to figure out the lies that you tell yourself. You're going to figure out the lies that others have told you that you have accepted as the truth. And you're going to expose it for what it is. Okay. So let me give you an example. One person say, I'm afraid that people will laugh at me or tell me I'm crazy for following my purpose, for doing something I'm passionate about, or discovering who I truly am and living authentically. So that's the fear. The evidence that disproves that fear is I have a great family and wonderful friends who have always supported me in various stages of my life. So no one's laughed at you when you tried to do other things. No one's laughed at you. No one's made fun of you. No one's tried to talk you out of it. They've been very supportive. Maybe they asked you some hard questions and said maybe you want to think about it, but they did not make you feel like they weren't supporting you. Okay. So that's the evidence that disproves it. The next evidence that disproves that fear is if this is truly my purpose, everyone will see it and agree that it is meant for me and I was meant for it. Right. So even if they support you and they're a little bit, sketchy, they're like, I don't know about that. When you start to walk in and they start to see the manifestation of who you are and the manifestation of that purpose and the manifestation of how the lives of others are changing because you showed up, they're going to be like, you know what? You were meant to do this. You should have done this from the start. Right? So you take that fear and then you find the evidence that disproves it. And sometimes you have to go to people and you have to say, okay, look, I'm thinking about XYZ. What do you think about that? And let them give you the evidence that will disprove your fears. Okay. Tomorrow we're going to talk about how to claim your values. So I'm excited about tomorrow's because I believe that if you're going to really become a person of purpose, you've got to have some core values. You got to know who you are. And you don't know what you don't know until you start to explore. And when you start to explore, the things that you don't know start to pop up. And you're like, oh, I didn't know that. Oh, man. You really? I never knew that. Because you don't know what you don't know. And that's what is the difference between success and failure is the space you don't know about. I am Coach Linda. This is 100 Days of Purpose. We are on, I believe we're on day 75. Oh, day 75. Got 25 days. We have rounded the corner, y'all. We have rounded the corner and we are pushing towards that finish line. And I'm excited. I'm going to be doing a 30-day challenge. I told you guys, and once it's up, and I'm going to be posting the link so you can join. It is a free challenge, and I am going to allow you at your own to be able to be coached for 30 days by the Linda Hillman, coach extraordinaire. So you'll be able to be coached by me. And I'm talking about real coaching. This is not this pep talk stuff I've been doing on the 100 Days of Purpose. I mean, sometimes I get into coaching, but yeah, this is going to be straight coaching, straight at you, coming, make you challenge you, get you doing stuff, right? And so it's 30 days for free, and it is. I'm calling it a challenge because I want you to do the work. If you work, if you do the work, if you work the plan will work, right? Only those that can see the invisible can achieve the impossible and be who they were created and made and designed to be. And know and understand that there is a plan for your life and that plan has a greater purpose. You are a part of the bigger picture and you need to show up, you need to shine, and you need to be bright because there's enough space in this world for me to shine and for you to shine. And I need you to be exactly who God created you to be so I can be exactly who God created me to be. Make sense? I know it does. So you be blessed, be encouraged. Until next time, this is Coach Linda. This is 100 Days of Purpose, day number 75. Disown your fears. Let's do the work. Let's do the work so we can work the plan. All right. God bless you. Talk to you soon. I'm Coach Linda, and I'm out.